Welcome back to Politics for Teens. So obviously today we need to talk about what's going on in the Middle East and Israel. Now there's a lot to talk about here, but it's really a hard thing to discuss right now because even after 3 days, we really don't know everything there is to know about what's going on. There's a lot of different things that are happening, obviously, and it's quite hard to keep up here with everything that's going on and how quickly things are changing over there. But we are going to talk about it, and we're going to try to catch you guys up as much as possible on everything that's happening over there. So let's get into it. All right, so obviously there's a lot that needs to be talked about, but it's really difficult to get into this because of the history that's behind sort of the conflict here between Israel and Palestine. And so looking back, it goes so far back that if you don't really have an idea of sort of this conflict from a historical perspective, you're really going to be a bit confused on why this is happening, what's going on. A lot of people are referencing the 2005 withdrawal from Israel with the Gaza Strip. There are a lot of people who are making connections to the Yom Kippur War, which was pretty much 50 years ago, almost exactly to Saturday when this started, 1973. So there's a lot of history here. We're not going to get into that right now because that takes so much more time than we're able to have right now talking about it, and there's so much that is so difficult to understand. We're just going to go over some of the events that have happened and what's currently going on right now with the hostage situations and some of the threats that are going back and forth. All right, so as we get into the events here, we have to talk about Hamas first. So Hamas is a Sunni Islamic fundamentalist organization that is located in Palestine. They're one of the leading political forces in Palestine. And they're the ones who first launched the attack on Israel, and they're leading sort of the charge against Israel from the Palestine side of things. So once again, it's so difficult to talk about what's going on because there really is so much to get into and so much that has happened that it's hard to break it all down for this video. But basically, at 6:30 local time, Hamas from the Gaza Strip launched, they claim, 5,000 rockets into Israel. Now, Israel claims that there was about maybe 3,000 rockets, so it's somewhere in between that area, but that was how many was fired into Israel at this time, and Israel's reporting that at least five people were killed in this initial stage of the attack. So after the initial attack, Hamas then issued a call to arms to Muslims everywhere, asking them to also attack Israel. Israeli ships that were off the coast were fired upon by Hamas, and then that evening, the evening of October 7th, that Saturday, about 150 more rockets were fired into Israel, with explosives being recorded all throughout Israel. This was followed by Hamas firing more rockets in the morning of October 8th, as well as even more launched on the morning of October 9th. During the initial phase of the attack, about 1,000 Palestinian militants invaded the country of Israel from the Gaza Strip. A lot of the images and videos that you've seen have come from this initial invasion. And the horrible, tragic massacre at the music festival in Israel also took place during this period and took hundreds of Israeli lives. An Israeli spokesperson claimed that the invading Palestinians entered Israel through 7 different locations. They invaded at least 4 rural Israeli areas, 1 border city, and at least 2 Israeli military bases. Now, the initial attack coincided with the Jewish holiday, and it seems that the Israelis were taken completely off guard. Following the initial attack, the Israeli government prepared for warlike conditions, with the Prime Minister declaring on television that the nation of Israel was at war. The Israeli Defense Minister approved the mobilization of Israeli reservist troops. Following the initial attack on October 7th, the Israeli government conducted an airstrike on the Gaza Strip, hitting 17 military bases and 4 command centers. This further escalated the war between Hamas and Israel. Overnight, Israel reportedly struck 426 targets in the Gaza Strip. The Security Cabinet of Israel placed the country under a state of war on October 8th. The first time Israel had been in a state of war since the Yom Kippur War in 1973. The night of October 8th into the early morning of October 9th, Israel continued to send rockets into the Gaza Strip, reportedly hitting 500 targets. The battle continues over the Strip today on October 9th. Now, of course, it's been reported that there have been tragic casualties on both sides, with thousands of Israelis being reported as casualties and hundreds of Palestinians as well. There have been claims against the Palestinian military for sexual assault, as well as kidnapping. The Palestinian military still holds hostages and is reportedly threatening to kill them. The demands from Hamas is that Israel would stop targeting the Gaza Strip without warning. Meanwhile, in the U.S., Secretary of the Army Christine Wormuth is calling for more funds from Congress in order to help support the Israeli government. Word from the White House, however, is coming in quite slowly, with the official statement being that President Biden will continue to meet with allies discussing the affairs going on in Israel and the Gaza Strip. Alright, so hopefully now you know a little bit more about what's going on in Israel and the Gaza Strip and Palestine. And you're more aware of the tragedies that are occurring over the last 3 days and that will most likely continue to occur now for quite a long time. There is certainly a lot of confusion going on with the war in Israel right now. I hope we were able to help you know a little bit more about what's going on and how this will continue on into the future. Please make sure you follow Politics for Teens, our channel, as well as our Twitter page and our Facebook page and our Instagram page, so that you can continue to stay informed on news regarding the Israeli war, the Ukraine-Russia war, and other national news that needs to be talked about. Thank you so much for watching this video and learning more about what's going on. Please share this video with others who need to know what's going on right now. Finally, I'm Richard Sterling, and this is Politics for Teens. Thank you so much for watching that video. Please subscribe to the Politics for Teens channel so that we can continue to make you fresh and engaging content.